right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the previous meeting? Leanne, did you get the corrections out there? I did have a few corrections. They are out on the share. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Cale. Second by Larry. All in favor? Okay. Consent agenda. Need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utilities at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utility incentives before the 25th of the month, permission for clerk to pay theater bills when due, permission for clerk to pay payment service network bills when due, and permission for clerk to pay city attorney bills when due.
So moved.
Moved by Larry. Second by Dara. All in favor? Sheriff's report. Well, I know Cody said he might be here, but was probably not going to be here. So I know there was a couple of citations on a couple.
There were two. There was one citation written that has 2 counts of dog at large and 2 counts of vicious dog. My understanding is that the dogs that have been cited for vicious dogs, this is the 2nd and 3rd offense respectively for these dogs. However, the citation for the 1st and 2nd had not yet been issued, and now it may not be able to be issued because the deputy who responded to it is deployed. So we're working on that. I'm of the opinion that the dogs are probably going to need to get put down, and I don't know that we need to go through the process of having a whole separate proceeding. We allegedly have enough evidence. I have not seen it yet, but we have enough evidence that we should be able to resolve this, and I don't think we need to be doing multiple cases if we have what I think we have of the video evidence showing what it does. So, I also spoke with Cody in the conversation about what happened this weekend. I spoke with him about what we discussed last time about how we're not seeing things go through, we're not seeing what is going through district court as opposed to what is or could be coming through municipal court. So he is going to work on compiling that report that he had brought to us that one time that looked really good. And I had asked him if he'd be able to get it to us by the 23rd. He said yes. Then he talked to Amanda, and she thought that because that's right before the holiday, she didn't know how many people would be here, what was going on, and so she told him the first meeting of the year, the first meeting of next year, he said he's just going to get it done and send it, and whenever the council wants to look at it, the council can look at it. Am I missing anything on him with the report?
New business building permits. Dan.
There's a permit for concrete for that driveway, 321 South Scott. They just want to redo the driveway, and then there's a building permit here for, we want to move a mobile home into that mobile home park on Valley.
Like homestead? Any problem with any one of them?
On that one, I did call the guy, and he said it was a newer, well, like a 2000 model mobile home. Has a shingle roof and all that. He's wanting to get it painted once he gets it in there. So, but that's about all I got. Asked for asked him to send me a picture. He never did. He said he would, but never did. So that's all we got to go off of right now.
And also we have in our ordinance as far as skirting and that kind of stuff.
He'll have to skirt it, yeah, and put mobile home anchors in or whatever.
Is there a motion to approve the building permits?
So moved.
Move McHale, second by Bud, all in favor? All right. Mobile home park licenses, Zimmelman Property Services, 305 West Second, and Rosa Dominguez at 502 South Valley.
Move to approve.
Moved by Cale,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? All right, C&B licenses, renewals for Diamond R Bar and Colorado Retail Adventures, Eagle, and Majestic Service.
So moved.
Moved by Larry, second by Dara, all in favor? Bud, are you abstaining?
No.
Okay, what, Bud abstaining on that one? 2025 observed holidays from the county. We don't need to approve anything, do we?
Not at this one. Not at this meeting. I would suggest looking them over. They're the exact same as last year's that we did. I just figured if you guys wanted to change any of them, we should do it by next meeting and then approve them at next meeting so that they go into effect for 2025 prior to the first meeting.
Okay. Just so we do it and make sure that we get
The
New Year's Day on there.
Yes.
Because the county in the past had gotten the holidays approved in January, so then they always had New Year's Day of the next year. And so I think that will be changing this next go around, that they'll be approved in December. So on the list that we approve, we'll make sure to get New Year's Day on there. And then can we just approve them now? So
Yeah.
do we have a motion to approve the 2025 holiday list with New Year's Day being added to it. Moved by Cale. Second by Justin, all in favor? Okay. Adams Brown City Annual Renewal and the Library Acceptance and Notice.
So at the last meeting, I had let you guys know that I received that email from Danielle in regards to these, but we hadn't received them. We got them the next day. So I have the copy for us to sign for the renewal. It gives the amounts per year, but we don't have to, we just have to approve signing this. We don't have to pay anything on it. I believe it's in there, on the vouchers, or no?
I haven't
Oh,
seen it
no,
yet.
that's right. It's not until January. I sent the library boards to them. I had Jen drop them off, so that they have them for their library board meeting.
So it went up a little bit, but not,
400 per year.
Yeah.
Looks like.
and then a little bit more on the budget review.
Yeah,
Yeah.
25 each year. Not terrible.
So we just need a motion.
Yeah, to sign it.
Do I hear a motion to sign the acceptance letter?
Move.
Second.
By Cale, second by Larry, all in favor? Okay. Is that all on that one then?
Yes, because the library accepts their own,
Okay.
and I won't know until after they have their board meeting. I'll email Terry.
Okay. Old business, the maps of the streets. Has anybody had a chance to drive around and pinpoint ideas and thoughts of where we should start next.
There's a couple intersections I still think we could extend the approach or the gutter, whatever. Could help a lot. Like the what is it? This street over here. That's corner of the park. What's that? Is this Scott Street up there? Or no?
This is Denison.
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 Yeah, Denison and Jackson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's really bad. I feel like we could just extend that gutter dip or the
Very
gutter
good.
dip.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of sections are that way. Just got to nail them all down, but they're terrible. So it wouldn't be that drastic of a cost, I don't think. And then the Francis one, Francis and First,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And then of course Spencer's getting rough, so still valid. Those are only three I really noticed over the weekend. Of course, Angle Road's getting really bad.
I thought about that one too.
That's going to be a big deal.
There's some pretty deep holes up in, the newer subdivision up there.
Yeah,
Jackson.
it's bad too.
Yeah.
Can't think of the street names.
Ash and Birch, Cedar.
Yeah, there's a couple of those intersections that got some pretty
Mhm.
good holes. I still think it comes back to prioritizing what we want to do and then figuring out what we're going to have for money. Because, I mean, until we really know what we got for money, we're not going to know what we can actually jump into.
Right, but we do have that 170, was it?
184.
184. We could knock out a few of these intersections with that right away. Probably.
Yeah.
The real bad ones.
We're going to wait until spring now for
Yeah.
anything, but to get
Is this going to be a Brock project?
Probably.
Do what?
All the intersection stuff that he's talking about?
intersections. You're just talking concrete, right?
Yeah,
On those.
yeah.
But we also need to look at whether or not we're gonna just chip seal some of the other streets, or if we're gonna do a full-fledged tear in and
Yeah, we do
redo.
that too.
Yeah, I think we do redo. We need to look at them 2 blocks we took out of Francis because we were told we were gonna be over budget, so we took 2 blocks out there.
Yeah.
And then we came in under budget, so we probably ought to.
Did we take one out by the hospital too?
You
Did we
did.
shorten that one? I wondered about picking that
I
up.
don't think we shortened.
We
We
never-
didn't
we
short
just
it,
didn't
we
do it.
didn't have it on there. We just didn't.
It wasn't.
Which it was silly to not just finish that one
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
walk there
Right.
when we did that one.
And then the one, I mean, there's some pretty good holes there too on that street. Goes up from the lumberyard, clear up.
Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, Adams and Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer
Those
is-
intersections are
yeah.
terrible. We could
The Spencer
extend
is
that
just
approach
right
maybe.
Mhm.
Huge dip there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the patchwork, like I said, yeah, we just, East Spencer is still, it's not holding.
That one needs to be
It's
completely
not
redone.
Holding.
I guess maybe if we decide which ones. Because Adams we could probably chip seal, you think, or would we need to?
I'd have to go look at, I can't honestly say.
Yeah, I was just wondering if some of these, if we, chip seal,
I think you get share of them. I mean,
chip seal
if you
them
can
and,
get them patched and chip seal them, definitely buy yourself some time.
and then look at the ones that we have. For sure we know up there in East Spencer, we're
East
gonna have to
Spencer's
tear
going to have
out.
to be torn out, or a good portion of it anyway.
Did they, at some point, many years ago, did they chip seal and then put oil back over the rock? Bogs in?
Yeah, fogged it. Full
Used to-
fog seal if you shoot it back over the top. But
Yeah.
we did, yes, at times.
Okay.
They're claiming that don't do as much good as your chips doing. I mean, if you want to spend the money to fall, you can, but.
Gotta get all the excess rock off. too.
It's what?
Gotta get all the rock off. It's just laying
Yeah.
there.
Well,
So, yeah, do we map out?
that's what
Get
we had
quotes.
kind of talked a couple meetings ago, is
Mhm.
look at those maps of, that Miller did of what, you know, because they kind of went through what was
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
bad and,
I
you know.
printed one, but it's not in the card.
Yeah.
Did we have that big one?
Yeah, they're over there on the table.
Oh, okay. If we wanna-
Take a look at those again.
Then what are we gonna do?
Who all is on?
Then what?
Street.
Get
Then what are we
quotes.
gonna do? Well, we try to do this, we've already had the rocks out since last February.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, who's on the street committee? Why don't we just get the street committee to come up with a plan and bring it to the full council? Would that make sense? Larry?
Yeah,
Thoughts?
bottom line, we just gotta figure out which streets are the worst that we need to tackle, and then here again, we gotta figure out where the money's gonna come from.
Yeah.
Some of these are gonna be high
But I
dollar.
think we kind of need to see, you know, pick which area, you know, what we need to completely redo, what we think we can chip seal, and start
Right.
getting pricing and what we have money for, and prioritizing what's next.
I think you guys should be able to use some special highway, some of that special highway money as well.
So, I have the streets as Amanda, Kale, and Justin.
Okay. The three of us be able to kind of, will that work? Okay. We'll just kind of try to maybe,
Try to get out and look at things again.
and kind of maybe the three of us can sit down and look at the map and kind of look at things and see if we need to, I mean, that's 5 years old.
Dan, who would we have to call to get a quote like on East Spencer? McCormick?
Tear out, probably.
Yeah, McCormick?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, that's the problem, you don't want, you know, you're gonna want a big enough project by the time
You're
you
gonna
clean
have
up.
Yeah.
Sunnyside, whatever that place is called.
Well, I need to get a hold of Casey again, because he was supposed to come in here.
He was what?
He was supposed to come meet up with me sometime. We were gonna go drive town and look at some stuff.
Okay.
He hasn't stopped yet, so I need to get a hold of him again.
Okay,
Justin's right. I mean, you're gonna have enough. If you're gonna do a big project, it's gonna be pretty good scale to you get them in here to
Make
do
it
something like that.
cost-effective, yeah.
Joe's talking a whole lot more money to do something like that. So that's why it's important. I think we find out what we're gonna have budgeted, plus the extra funds that we're talking about for chip sealing and stuff, and then see if we can nail down.
How much was in special highway?
I'm sorry? How much was
What was in
in
special highway?
Special Highway Fund has currently $154,875.47.
And then there was
How much?
184, was it the ARPA?
No,
Or what was that?
leftover
the bond.
from
Leftover.
the bond.
The bond,
Mhm.
okay.
The ARPA was, we decided to put towards the chip seal, because we had
Oh, that's right.
a lot of by the end of the year, so we went ahead and just put it towards what we already had
Is
done.
That's right.
Is there any kind of restrictions on either one of those?
On the bond fund, it just needs to be designated towards streets, and only streets. We have to redo the ordinance through Miller and Associates. No, Gilmore Bell does the ordinance. They'll amend it for what streets or intersections you guys so choose, and then we have to stick with that for just those bond funds. Special highway, no restrictions, as long as it's streets.
You think that bond money should go toward what Dan was talking about? Those 2 blocks that we cut out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was wondering if the leftover bond money, do we need to use that for those 2 blocks that got left
I think
out?
it can be used for whatever,
It
it's just a
wouldn't
matter
matter?
of, we're gonna use it all in one swoop, so we don't have to redo the ordinance and then redo it again, you know,
Right.
do 50,000 here, 50,000 there, then we're paying the attorneys to keep redoing it, we're gonna make sure it's a big enough project to spend it all.
I agree with that.
And how much in the street fund? Do we want to?
Only about 200 or 300.
We had talked about 200.
Streets.
I do not have that in front of me.
Where's the McCormick at now?
Where they,
Where they were.
I don't know, they're working out.
Who's that crew out of Irvington?
I'm sure he is. It's not McCormick, it's the name McCormick. McCormick said that, they're now called something else.
I don't know what the new name is.
So it might be the help.
Maybe we could get Wyatt to go around with the old map, cross-reference that with what needs to be done still.
Did you hear anything about the state project?
You're asking about what we have budgeted this year.
So if we said we had to use at least a portion of that too, plus
Yeah.
this, we'd
Yeah.
say we have this X amount,
Right.
we were gonna put towards.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious too what Casey would say about Sunny Hill. If he's got any other ideas on how we could possibly knock some of that out.
Okay.
I'm just thinking doing the streets or redoing.
Well, I
curb and
just,
gutter and-
I mean, when we've talked about it, we've been thinking that we're gonna have to do curb and gutter and redo the whole street and everything, but maybe there's some other options, I don't know.
Mhm.
If you didn't have to tear out the curb and gutter, if most of it was still in decent shape. I'm not sure. I think we're gonna have to get a second opinion, so to speak. If Dan is able to get with Casey or something, he could give us a pretty quick idea.
Yeah.
Don't we usually go with an architect? Write the plans and then?
Well, that's what we
Yeah.
had reached out to them, but they had already done their assessment from 5 years ago, so that we could go off of that and kind of maybe do our own, then to repay them to come up with another assessment of the streets, knowing what we've gotten done and what still needs to be done.
Other than they're beholden to what happens to get done, I guess. If it's in the writing, says that this needs to be done, then there's somebody out there checking that.
I didn't catch that.
So when you have an architect or engineer basically,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going out there and checking, making sure everything's up to code. As far as if we do concrete, are we doing pressure testing of concrete, are we doing, stuff like that.
Well, and see, before when we went through the bonds,
Long as you had to.
we had to, so there
Which
was.
you had to replace quite a bit of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was
And
not
if we were just
up to
spending
par.
if we were spending our own money, we wouldn't have to go through.
But I'm just afraid we spend our money, then it just gets got done and that's just it.
I get what you're saying, but there's also some handicap sidewalks that probably shouldn't, that was a waste of money and that kind of
No,
stuff.
I don't mean
Yeah.
that, I don't mean we go through that type of,
Yeah.
we could get our own,
Mm-hmm.
just writes it up, says this is what's gonna happen. Make sure it gets done, unless we wanna go out there and check it every time we
Well, no, I mean, if we kind of have an idea of what we want, then we can go and get a bid,
Right.
and then obviously we'll know the specs of the job.
I just wanna make sure it gets done
Correct,
correctly,
yeah.
from A to B.
Mm-hmm. And I think that would be in the process of, if we go to Miller and Associates, you know, this is what we want done,
Mm-hmm.
kind of go through the same process, we just do it through, you know, just through the city and not having to
Not to
go through all the red tape of.
on the overkill.
Mm-hmm. So, does that sound good if the three of us kind of work to come up with a game plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Are you gonna report back by year end or?
Next meeting, or what are you thinking?
I won't be
Maybe,
here.
I was gonna say, I won't be here at the next meeting, so January,
Just,
first of the year.
so we keep, you know,
Yep, no.
put timelines on some of this stuff,
Yeah.
maybe that we
Yeah.
keep ahead of it.
So currently in the capital improvement fund, we have $604,123.34. Right now, our schedule of transfers into that fund is $240,000, which would make it $844,123.34. We have already spent $56,000 towards Ward Electric. They are in the vouchers for tonight, which leaves $144,000 towards what we allocate towards them for this year, still to come out, which would leave a total of $700,123.34 if we make the 240 transfer, but that we won't know about until next year, once all is said and done. Just to give you guys a rough.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yes.
That's the budgeted
Because that's what-
transfer for 2025.
Yeah,
So we'll be doing transfers at the end of the year as
Mhm.
well.
Will we do those at the next meeting, or we do them? Because it used to be we'd come, the last meeting of the year was usually when we just came in and did transfers.
I think it's gonna be a little bit tricky this year because the meeting's on the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
and didn't, didn't Danielle recommend just waiting until after the first month?
That's what I was thinking.
She said that some of her cities do that. I mean, we can still do what we want, but if we do it on the 23rd, you still have a whole other week's worth of bills that could come in if we had something.
I wouldn't think we would, but yeah.
I
I mean, we
mean-
can wait till January. Because I
It was-
thought she had said that was fine to wait.
Because then we would just do it as a period 13.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that'll work.
The first meeting in January is 13.
Uh-huh.
So is that street fund, just so I'm clear on this, is that street fund part of the capital improvements?
Yes.
There's
The
nothing
street
else
fund
that
is,
is, we didn't have a separate street fund?
Are you talking about the special highway?
or the sales tax.
Special highways,
So we have special highway that is strictly for streets. Then you guys have the bond that, you have to redo the ordinance. We have infrastructure improvements that can be used. And then capital improvement,
what
but
is that tax fund figure?
I can't remember at budget time. So it's getting a little, we're kind of at a time of year so we're getting ready to do the 2024 transfers. And I don't know if you allocated any of that for like ward, so you'll have to remember that if we make transfers. But then the 2025 transfers likely won't be done till the end of 2025. So, but you have the infrastructure improvement fund too, where we transfer that sales tax money.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got quite a few places that you can work from.
Do you know what's in that infrastructure?
The infrastructure sales tax fund currently has $250,948.89. And letting you know, just for your references, it's out there under the financial review
Okay.
Okay.
on the share, so if you guys ever want to look at them.
Do we have some
Thank you,
some
Jen.
options for sure.
Thank
That,
you.
the infrastructure sales tax, that's just for this year, but we have that other fund. The infrastructure improvement has 461,000 in it. So the infrastructure sales tax, some of those transfers will be to pay the bond. When we make the transfers, they'll be for the bond payments, and then whatever's left. It's okay, that's why I was
Next
like,
sheet.
that seemed kind of low, so, can you scroll down again? Oh, yeah, so in the infrastructure improvement, you have 461,000, so you have that money too. I mean, you just need to be mindful too, if you're gonna keep having Ward come in,
Yeah,
that 200,000 that you've been allocating, just remember that, like, for the transfers or whatever, but that can also be paid out of infrastructure improvements as well.
And how much are the bond payments that will come out of that? What will be left after that?
I don't have any of that in here.
Okay. We currently have 2 bonds, right? For streets.
For streets, yeah.
part one, part two.
So the total on the bond payments for in the year 2025 is going to be $93,433
For both of them.
for both of them.
And then what about 2024? Because that would give us an idea of what we're going to transfer out of here.
So thank you for pointing that one out. The 2024 was the 200, that amount that I said earlier. That was to be transferred, the 240,
Or 240.
240,000. That's for what's scheduled for the end of 2024 to be transferred. The 2025 transfers. Is currently at 330,000 for the transfers out at the end of 2025 into the capital improvement.
So we're collecting more than enough, right? Sounds like. So why don't we work on another big project
Let's make it 5 different.
and
Full
make,
time.
get a lot more streets done all at once? Again, I don't know. That's what the money's there for, I guess. We're not supposed to just be saving it, right?
No,
We're not be
Yeah.
fixing streets, so.
But yeah, it'd be nice to say, okay, we have X amount.
Yeah.
And this is, when McCormick comes in,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
You
what
know,
we're
we
doing, these are
say,
the areas,
you
yeah,
know,
give
we
us a
have
bid on.
600,000-700,000, whatever, I don't know, but
Yeah, and I think we could go further without going through the bond.
Yeah,
Well, let's the three of us get together and
Yeah.
come up with a plan for January and come back. Property cleanup, probably nothing, Dan? No. Projects pending, anybody have anything there? Do we ever get that policy for liability insurance additional insured as recodification? Are we gonna do that when we recodify? Is that something we could take off the list or we'll get done?
I mean, the code is available for council review. So I don't know if we want to take that off
Or just
and put it under that, or just maybe leave it until we do recodification just to verify that it's.
how we wanted or change it?
Mhm.
Did we get our lot cleaned off? Industrial park area?
I don't,
not that I've heard.
did our lot, industrial park lot get
I
cleaned up?
haven't checked.
Did someone on the line? Someone
Did we send out a
That's-
letter? Did we were gonna send a
Yeah,
letter?
I didn't get a return. I don't know if it's been served or not. I don't know if they just kept it there or if it was gonna be part of Cody's. I can check with Cody tomorrow.
okay. We sent a letter.
Huh?
So we sent a letter.
I typed a letter. I don't know where. I don't know where that is. Where it went after. I don't know whatever finally became of the letter, but I will look into that tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll make a note of that.
Obviously, we talked streets, so we'll move forward on that. Theater report.
There's not too much. They had, we have a new board member, Ty Falconer, joined the other night. And they had, talked about, there's still the employee issue and the issue with, maybe getting a list of people that have said they would help volunteer and then bring it to the council and so the council can approve it. I don't know what you guys think about that, but there has been some people that maybe talked to Jessica that said they would volunteer to help because she's shorthanded some nights, and so I don't
Isn't
know.
the board members are helping?
Well, they can't do it all the time. They're out of
So
town.
they're just getting volunteers out.
They're not doing anything. Like Leanne went the other night. So
But they're just gonna get anybody in the community to volunteer?
she's had people approach her
Okay.
saying they would be willing to volunteer. So she was gonna maybe have a list. That's what the board talked about the other night, seeing if the council would be willing to.
Lauren, what would be the legalities of having just community volunteers that would be handling money and if something, I mean, I guess my concern would be the liability on the city. You're just letting anybody come out in off the street and run the cash register and handle.
It's either that or
funds
she closes
yeah.
it down.
I mean, I don't.
Because,
don't
I mean,
know-
if the board
yeah.
members are gone,
Yeah.
they can't do anything. And
So for
she's
sure-
shorthanded.
Why isn't she advertising for help then?
She was waiting on something.
So-
What was it?
One of the 15-year-olds is turning 16 in the beginning of February, so she doesn't want to hire somebody new, train them, and then have to get them used to having the hours, and then have to
Well, it sounds like you need a lot more help, so what's the difference?
take the
One
hours
more
away.
person you gonna hire on?
So I know that one reason. I've told her, I actually spoke to her on Saturday night when I was there, I was like, you need to put the ad out. She was going to be putting the ad out next year, waiting until after all the holidays. When she was gonna start it, I do not have that information, but I did inform her that she can't just keep waiting on the high school kids to reach the age of 16 to work the whole shift. She needs to
Yeah.
put out the ad to try and get someone either over the age of 15.
Would some of those volunteers actually like to add an application and actually get paid to do that?
Yeah. That's kind of. I mean.
That was my question. Is if there's the availability to pay them to do that, why would they not become
Well, I would just think that would.
an employee? Because then they would be covered, and we wouldn't. I mean, it would be.
That was my thing is, if something happened and they're just volunteers off the street and there's no,
Right. I mean, I guess I wouldn't. They wouldn't have to be. There could be people who are hired as employees that are just kind of as needed, as opposed to being regularly scheduled employees, but we still have all of the information we need for them to be considered. I mean, I guess I don't understand why, if someone was agreeable to doing it when they were shorthanded and needed, that they wouldn't agree to putting in an application and getting paid whatever the hourly rate is. I just don't understand that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why we would. I guess I don't understand why we would. I don't understand why we would be looking for volunteer.
Volunteer outside of the.
I don't know why we would be looking at external individuals coming in if we have. It just seems. Why are they not willing to just work those shifts? Why are they? I mean, is there a reason that they're not agreeable to just?
Just like I said, PRN.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why. Is there a reason? I don't know.
Well, I mean, working with high school kids, and then they have sports, or they have.
Right, but I mean, the volunteers
They can't be there.
the people who would be volunteering to come in, I guess, is there a reason why they are saying they would volunteer rather than just become a as-needed employee?
That I don't know. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they
I
just
don't
were
think that
just
option
being
is
helpful.
given to them. There was a previous employee that he was there maybe a month. It didn't sit well with him, but he said that he would remain as an as-needed employee. But Lila said no, that we couldn't do that, of having them just randomly be paid. I don't see a problem with it. It's not like the system requires them to.
Do they not clock in and clock out?
Yeah, they do. So I don't see a problem with it at all, but I don't think they were ever given that option because, like I said, the last time, the one individual, they were told no.
I can put an email out on the link to see if there's something that we're missing by any chance.
I don't know. She was just throwing it out there because she was.
I mean, my
Like I
concern
said-
would be, somebody's volunteering, first of all, if they're handling money, or if they get hurt on the job, but they're not really employed, and so then how are we covered by that? I think it would be a whole lot of,
Right, and like I said, she's just wanting
yeah,
some
some thought. I would say advertise for more help. I mean, if she's that short-handed, yeah,
keep advertising and
yeah,
Maybe just don't set up
move
a high
forward.
school.
But yeah,
yeah.
but a lot of times, it's weekends, nights, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's only a couple hours, but still, it's
And
just.
it ties up you're there on a Saturday from
Mhm.
6:30 to 9:30 and
Right, and
really
so.
slow, or you're cover an hour,
Mhm.
I guess, yeah,
Yeah.
you can reach out on the link and see.
I will do so.
All right, anything else?
And then there is a local contractor that's trying to get other contractors to help maybe come up with some bids, and maybe in the next month or two he might present something to the theater board just to see if it's something that they'd be willing to later bring them to the council to see if they're on board with it. So.
Good deal. I hear a motion to accept and file the theater report.
So,
Moved by Kale, second by Larry, all in favor. Superintendent report?
Justin Gardner sent his letter of resignation.
2 letters?
What's that?
2 letters?
Well, I don't know what the other one's for. The other one's a thank you or something from him.
For you to open it?
Yeah. So last meeting I talked to you guys about that Aaron Brown picking up grass. Somebody told me how much he's gonna pick up. He says he'll take it as long as he can haul it and we'll give it to him. He's gonna bring his insurance in here. I have no answers on the old loader yet. You guys still looking into what it's worth. Did have to get a couple truck tires for a tandem truck, about $678. The well meters passed. I told you we had to have them checked. Most of them passed within 1%, so we're good there. I don't know where I'm at on the water tower. They called me, we're just gonna send me his pop-off valves, and I'm just in limbo with them right now. Just a heads up, if Ward don't get this job done, we might want to think about right after the first year, looking into any money that we're allocating for next year for them, go ahead and get it spent while they're here.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to pay them to come back out.
Good idea.
And that's all I have.
Did you get all those lead lines looked at? Will it?
No. For the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get everything done to make the state happy so far.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
Any questions for Dan?
Sweeper?
Got it back. I ran it for a few hours, but can get back out there again, but it
Yeah.
seems to be working good.
Good.
Does it got a camera on the back so you can see?
Yeah.
Anything coming following?
It's pretty hard to see, but it has one.
Mayor, motion to accept and file the superintendent report.
So,
Moved by Gail, second by Justin, all in favor? Alright. Attorney report.
As requested in the attorney folder, there is the link for the speeding fines for what Bridge City uses. This is done based off of their speed limit. Our docket fee would be different if we were to do this. That's just what they've set their docket fee at. This is how it's shown. It's not for through town. It's within city limits on Highway 36. That's what the 40 miles an hour is. That's why it's next to it. They don't really, I don't know if they really enforce within town. I mean, they would use the same fine schedule if they did. But
You would hope somebody's not.
I've never seen a
35 mile an hour of the speed limit.
right. I've also never seen to my knowledge, seen a citation issued for within the city limits off of the highway. It's just kind of when people are going down 36, they just don't slow down to 40. But this is the second column is their fine schedule of what the amount is. And so that amount is just written on the ticket as well as the docket fee. And that could be set at what the council decides to set it at. The court costs for non-traffic violations presently are at $158 for St. Francis Municipal Court. And so the docket fee could be set to whatever the council determines they would want it to be. If we were to, and obviously these fines don't have to be used, but if we were to implement something like this, we could speak with the sheriff's office, and rather than have them send everything through district court, if we wanted to have them write the fee on the ticket, it may just come here. Now, the counterpoint to that is that if they decide they want to contest it, then it's going to go through court. So, I guess the council can do.
Would it make more sense instead of, all of 1 to 5 miles an hour over 6 to 10, toward instead of every single.
Yeah. I mean, it's the council can set. This isn't required to be done like this. This is just how Bridge City. I mean,
every single.
yeah.
If you were going 23 miles and 24, it just went.
Well, I mean, I think when they pull the way that they write the citation is you are going X miles per hour in a Y mile per hour zone, and so my understanding is when they adopted this was before I was city attorney, but my understanding in doing this is if you have 1 to 5 and then 6 to 10, a car traveling at 35 miles an hour versus 39 miles an hour, the damage if it were to hit something would be more at 39 than it would at 35. And so for each mile an hour over that you're going, it's incrementally charged because the danger is incrementally increased. Now, that's not what you have to do, but my understanding is it will say exactly how many miles per hour you're going over because the format of their ticket is traveling X miles an hour in a Y mile per hour zone. So they will know exactly what it is.
What did you say the docket fee was?
70?
Over there?
Over
Or,
there.
no,
for
I'm
70.
sorry, for here.
158.
For here, 158. But that's not for traffic. I think when we used to do traffic, it was 50 for traffic citations over here.
I see.
And this is, yeah, like I said, this is just for, traffic has always been kind of separate from the code because it's under the STO. But,
Are we even seeing
They run all the
speeding
traffic.
tickets?
we don't know because everything goes over to district.
Right.
We haven't done any traffic in the last 3 years, I think.
That's part of my question is, do we even know if there's been any traffic tickets?
That would be on the report that Cody said he's going to get us. And my understanding is from what he had said that they're going to try and be doing a whole lot more with
The feedlot.
the feedlot that's going up outside of Hagler. But
Traffic is already drastically increased.
And that money would go to us, I guess, basically, if we do that.
it goes to where
So if we'd have them run through.
if you have them run through municipal, the money would go to the city.
Mhm.
It presently goes to the county because it's run through district.
So why don't we just have it run to the city?
That's something we can.
I mean, Cody will do it. Cody says he'll do it however we want. The problem is that because we adopted the STO, the council has previously adopted the STO and never put a fine schedule in place, and the STO says that the fines can be a minimum of this and a maximum of that for so many increments over. They don't have an amount to write in, and they don't have the discretion to do that. They don't have the discretion to interpret it. And so they were just writing C judge. So every single traffic citation was coming into municipal court. We'd have to set it for a pre-hearing. We'd have to set it for a pre-hearing date or a first appearance date. They'd come in. She'd give them a chance to talk to me, see if we could get it resolved. If not, it had to come back in. It had to go to court. The officer had to come in, and so it was just multiple hours of time in enforcing a citation, which may or may not bring even $200. And so Cody will run it however we want it
If
to
we have a
run.
fee schedule,
However,
then they could just pay it. and
they
not
could
have
just
to
pay
go to
it.
court.
Yeah, sounds good. I don't like to go to court either.
I guess we need to decide on a.
I think you do trucks one in price.
I don't think you can.
I don't know that you can do that.
Why?
Are these, if they opt to pay it, is that still gonna go against their license and points?
Yes. Yeah, the only way to not have that is to have a diversion. And commercial, there's a state statute which prohibits people who have a commercial driver's license from obtaining a diversion. You're not permitted to enter into a diversion agreement with anyone with a commercial driver's license. And the answer is the Interstate Commerce Clause.
What's everybody's thoughts?
I like it. I like Justin's idea. Trucks should have higher fines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we
Don't know
can
if you
do
can
that
do
because of
that.
the
If
Interstate
they have
Commerce
a
Clause.
commercial license, seems like a higher fine.
We should find out.
Yeah.
I'll make note of it on things to ask.
Seems like they're the ones gonna be higher
It's the most dangerous thing to be
dangerous
speeding
out there.
too.
So this is just birds, so I wonder if just reaching out to see if there's, some other cities, kind of get an idea of
Okay.
a couple other cities to see what their
Wait,
docket
just
fee
go
is
back, truck
for
starts more
traffic.
than-
Well, no,
You
you're
buy
a
accident,
villain, you just pay the
18
fee.
wheelers
You
automatically
don't have
qualify or.
Well, you can go to
You know.
court.
You can't, but you just pay it.
Yeah, and that's the same here. So Bird City has this,
For 16.
so it's on the back of your
Yeah.
ticket,
Mhm.
so you can just pay
Makes
it.
sense.
Where we don't have that, you have to come to court.
Yeah, see, I would
That's why it's ran through.
like to get a ticket here.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you reach out and kind of get a couple of,
Atwood, same way too.
Like Bird City?
You just pay-
Atwood
you
does
just pay the
everything
ticket.
through
Mhm.
municipal.
Yeah.
Everything in their city runs through their city court. They run everything through there.
Tell somebody's a nice ones and a not nice ones. I know which ones have the words and which ones don't.
Is that all, Lauren? Or?
The link to the code is up under my folder. The code is up. I'm not entirely sure what code is up because the code that got put up has, what is the name of the person that it has? Hold on. It has Megan Kettrell, it looks like, as the city clerk on governing body and officials. Obviously, that when this was originally done, it was the previous, when they were originally putting this together, it was the previous council. That will need to be changed. I don't know who Megan Kettrell is. That's not the way it appears on the Word document that I have. So I will...
Where'd that come from?
When you met Scott and David.
Well, and that was because when it was originally drafted, it was in 2023. I don't know where Megan Kettrell came from. But so I just put it up. As far as the ordinances, I think they appear correct. When I told him about the governing, I'd already told him about the governing body. He had said, we will change that right before it's adopted in case you have any more changes, which is fine, which, is not here nor there. I mean, it doesn't matter until it's actually effective. I will point out again that policies and procedures still have these certain policies and procedures, and they're just general ones you pull. They're not actually our policies and procedures. We have always had Appendix B say, please see policy and procedure handbook available at City Hall. Just because if we have a policy and procedure in our code, then if we change a policy or a procedure, we have to do an amendment to the code, as opposed to they're not required to be, because they're not governing law. They're just internal
Policies.
Yeah. And so I guess this is on here because I have told him multiple times. This is on here for your review. I have given him several of my thoughts, and he's kind of pushed back on it, and so I am putting it forth for the council to see, so I can say, it was discussed in a meeting, we have minutes of it, take it off. I
don't think the policy's on there.
I agree.
Absolutely.
But I think, if you want to look at the rest, take a look at the rest of it. Like I said, I had the revenue finance, investment of public funds, all those things. Article 6 and Article 7 of Chapter 1, I had originally let you know that he had changed it from what we'd had it as. I brought it to you. You said that if ours is okay, we'd rather stick with ours. I sent that back to him. He seems to have an issue with it, that this is the way they have it written is how most cities have adopted it, and they feel that this is best practices. There's nothing wrong with the way we inherently have it, but it is more complete the way they have it, and I've gotten pushback on that from him. I told him I'd take it to the council because I can't make a call on that, so this is the code as he's proposing it. There's nothing in here that I can see that is inherently incorrect, other than that's inherently incorrect. I don't even know if you would say it's incorrect. It's completely different than ours, other than Appendix B and Article 6 of Chapter 1. The other thing is the utilities. I don't know that has gone up for the connection fee. I had told him we had wanted to do that. Obviously, we have done that via other ordinance by this time. He has not changed it in the one on line 15-1403B. Sewer tap fee in the amount of $100. That needs to be $250. Other than that, I don't believe that there's anything different in it. That being said, like I said, this is not exactly, I have not gone through word for word what is online because he sent me a draft of it in Microsoft Word, and that was what I went through when I did the comparisons verbatim and sent it back to him. And mine has Leanne Lee as the city clerk. I had pulled that up to show her. And this one has Megan Kettrell, so I'm not entirely sure where that came from. I didn't know if the council wanted to look through it and give me your feedback. I didn't know if you would rather have me go through the one that's online. There's a fairly significant cost to have my office go through it verbatim, word for word, when they sent it to us in a Word document. To do it again online, it's going to be close to the same cost, I would imagine. So I didn't know if council wanted to look through.
It shouldn't be any real different.
I wouldn't think there would be any real difference, but like I said, I don't know where Megan Kettrell's name came on it when it was. I don't know where Megan Kettrell's name came on it on the online version from the Word version that was sent to me. Because the Word version that I have has Leanne Lee on it as our city clerk. So I just.
Could have been pulled from somebody else's.
It may have been, but then my concern becomes where else is there crossover from them uploading the Word document that they sent to me versus.
Or what version of is this compared to the version that you looked
Right.
over and yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, I guess I don't. I'm happy to do whatever the council wants me to do. I
She's
just.
on a certificate of the city clerk, Megan Kettrell, on it too, so it's more than just one
Right.
on everything.
And it has a electronic signature on it, whereas the Word document I have has a blank space for Leanne to actually sign it because it would have been printed. It would have been a printed code. And so I'm not entirely sure. Bird City's code was such a mess when they did this that we weren't really running into this sort of problems because the code had already been such a mess of that they kept introducing partial sections of codes, and so they had some from like 1998, they had some from 2004, they had some from 2008. They had this one code that they had this comprehensive thing, but it had never actually been adopted. And so when they did this, we didn't really have that much to go through because it was such a hodgepodge. I will say once it got signed for Bird City and was up and running, having it online and having all of the things so you don't have to find the ordinance and then go through and see if there's been another ordinance amending that. It's just all in text. Once it's up and going, it is amazing. It is great. It's good for the public. It's good for the officials. It's good for me as the city attorney because it's all right there and it cuts down on time and it's just very good and very easy. I just don't know. I don't know what to do with this, seeing as how the first 3 pages have the same discrepancy twice. So I don't know if council wants me to email Leanne and have her email out the Word document that was originally sent to me, or wants me to just go through it again that's on what's online. I mean, I don't know what council would like me to do or how they want to proceed with this.
I took the chapters and took what she already read through and we read through. And
I can
double check what's online.
I can email that to Leanne and then she can email it out to everyone. I had thought previously, I apologize for this, so I had replied to Leanne's email. I had tried to reply all to Leanne's email, but when she sends it out, she does a blind email, and so it went, but it only went to Leanne because that was the only address that my email knew to send it to, and so when I clicked reply all, I thought it had gone to everyone after the meeting. I mean, it was sent immediately after the meeting, last meeting, but it did not. I guess, get to everybody until today.
Her responding to my email, I'm thinking, okay, it went out.
And me responding to, clicking reply all, I thought it went to everyone to whom she'd sent it. And apparently that was not the case. So I will email that. I will email the version that I have that I went through,
Okay.
and I will email that to Leanne, and then she will disseminate that to everyone. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Do I hear a motion to accept and file the, I guess the only other thing was, I did have Lauren sign this application for exemption, the lot that we had that Travis Jensen bought. So the city owned it, we were exempt, we sold it to him, it became not exempt, it became taxable. And then he deeded it back to the city, so we have to reapply through Board of Tax Appeals to get that exemption back. So, that came to our attention because Jen went to pay the taxes. And, so anyways, in the next 2 years, we probably won't own the lot, but we will probably get our exemption from the state because they are about 2 years behind. So, that's the only thing I have to add for. I had Lauren sign it because I have to sign it as a county appraiser, so I can't sign it too close. But other than that, do I hear a motion to accept and file the attorney report?
Move.
Moved by Justin, second by Bud, all in favor? Treasurer's report, Joe, nothing. Clerk report?
So out there, of course, is that there's Friday memo for last month from auctions. Sorry they didn't get it to me in time for actual November. Also out there is the League of Municipalities. It is the dues for the 2025. Do we need this one?
Just tell them about it, don't encumber it, because I'll pay it in 2025.
Right. I did notice that they are sending 9 subscriptions of the Kansas Government Journal. There's 7 of you guys. We have to keep 1 for records retention here at the office. I didn't know if you guys wanted me to drop that down any, so that we don't have mass quantities of them.
I have to be frank with you, I kind of like getting one.
Yeah.
It's been a good resource. She's been giving me the extra one, if you'd be willing to keep it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They also included in their upcoming events for 2025 and training for both the league and for the Municipal Training Institute for you guys to see when those are going to be happening. Another one just for you guys to know out there is the KMIT renewal. From last year, it has increased $838, so not too bad, and this is for our workers' comp. We also got our certificate of coverage for 2025 and our 2024 Gold Star. So we will more than likely be receiving another star statue for the window seal. I've also shared out there the appointments list that is normally gone over in January. I put out the one that I had currently with whatever changes were made last year. I got the library board updated here, not on my list yet, but Terry over at the library and Rodney with the Housing Authority have given me their updated lists. just for you guys to see them, if you guys know of any changes that need to be made, see any changes like Dan with the fire department, if any of you guys want to change what you guys have.
Recycling committee is no more, right? We can get rid of that one.
The what?
The recycling committee?
They've done nothing really.
But I thought we were, if the city's taking it back, because that was when we were trying to we
Right.
just started that a year ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we need it if we're gonna take over the recycling, do we? Where we're not trying to pair with Bird City and the county, and I think we started that to try to find avenues of what to do, and now that,
Well, yeah, we probably don't need it.
okay. Speaking of, have we started accepting recycling? Yeah,
No.
do we know when that will be?
No.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
And the other thing, Leanne, was, Justin's on the Washington Street beautification.
Huh?
Justin was on the Washington beautification,
Yes.
Washington Street beautification.
Yeah, I had it on a different Excel sheet
Okay,
than this one. Lauren has brought it to my attention that under the standing committees for safety, we do have Justin Gardner on there, but with him going to be
gone.
And the municipal judge. I
as
don't know that
municipal
he's.
judge, if we should start looking for a replacement.
My understanding was that the committee was supposed to be city employees and a governing body member, and at the point that he will be municipal judge, he will not be a city employee, he'd be contracted.
As far as the safety,
As far as for being on the safety.
he will not be,
He won't
like, he
be.
can't be on safety.
Right.
No, he'll
That's-
have to, yeah.
I just wanted, his name was still on there, so I just,
These aren't in effect yet. These are for, this is the reason why they're out there right now.
right,
so that
right,
we
no, right.
They can be scratched off
Right.
and changed
I just wanted,
prior to the
Right.
first meeting in January.
Your thoughts on who else to put on
Yeah.
there? Safety?
I'll think about it.
Okay. Anything else?
So at the last
And at
meeting,
the beginning of the year, we will be the bank.
Really?
So at some point, you'll be getting notified. It'll be purchased.
It's for sure effective January 1.
Yeah, and then there's a transition period in there. So,
okay,
but yeah, it's supposed to be happening.
okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if
So-
you guys had found a date yet. It sounds like, yeah, we have a transition for the routing numbers and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right. There'll be a transition period in there. So, but, and yeah, they'll get with us to tell. I know.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
We're
wait for
kinda
sure, like for the checks and
Waiting,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
for all that too.
Okay.
And it's the same one. It's in Bird. So, I mean, it'd be that same.
so Jen brought it to my attention today, right? The resolution?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So at the last meeting, I had broken it apart from the 2020 bonds and the 2023 bonds, the remaining funds available. The council actually did a resolution. It's resolution 2022-5 that actually moved those into the 2023 bond amount. So there should not be a separation that I mentioned at last meeting. So they're all just 2023 bond funds. And that is all that I have.
The motion to accept and file the clerk report.
So,
Moved by
second.
Kale, second by Larry, all in favor? Alright. Bud, do you have anything? Kale,
Nope, I just won't be here next meeting.
Larry,
I don't.
Dara?
I don't know if you guys are having the same problem, but it's like, I don't know if it's just my computer that's so slow or if it's something for our Wi-Fi back here or what, but at home, my stuff will pop right up. And here, I'm like, it finally comes up about the time we're done talking about something.
And you've been
And I sit here and I click on it and I click on it and I click on
You've
it.
been having problems.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anybody else is having the same issue or if it's just,
I have to be frank, I think maybe we need to just order a new one for you.
okay, I didn't know.
This
if
has been
anybody
an
knows.
issue for quite some time, hasn't
Mhm.
it?
You can have mine, I don't wanna go paper.
I was gonna say, do we not have an extra one?
I
We have
think,
the city one.
Yes.
Bud has his. Justin has his. I mean, if you wanna try using the city one, see if that works faster so that it's possibly just the computer.
Yeah, either that or, yeah, I bring my own, but.
and you said
Yeah.
you'd rather go to paper,
I can rather go paper. My phone's pretty fast.
so. I wonder if maybe Justin could bring his next time for you to try.
And I will start printing you out a full packet if you would like. I did not know that you wanted a
It
full.
didn't have to be the whole thing, no, just the importance of it.
Okay.
Like I said, I could see it on my phone pretty well.
I keep thinking
Or
it's
tablet, I
gonna
guess I got a tablet.
change for me, but it's just like,
I've had that problem, but mine's been working.
it's been working
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just,
I wonder what.
Can you
it
hit
finally comes up, but
Can
it
you hit
takes.
it on your phone?
Oh, of course you can.
What
Just curious.
network are you connected to?
Huh?
What network?
But see, tonight, I'm on Nextech, and Nextech's
Oh.
having issues, so I haven't.
City Hall 22.
Yeah, I'm on City Hall 22.
Yeah, that's what she is, and it says it's strong.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, unless there's something that's.
Maybe, is there updates or something that it would need? Would there be something on there that could be?
Maybe Reach could wipe it out and
There
start
is an
over.
Yeah.
update from 140 days ago. I wonder if after you're done tonight, or when you go home, try the update one.
Yeah, that could
Try
be.
that, see what happens.
Yeah.
Possibly, but you are on the right network.
But
We
if
had
you said
two
it was
networks
fast
here,
home.
so we have one
Yeah.
in front and then we went back.
What goes
to the
to-
Yeah,
I
true.
don't know.
It works
All
fine
right,
at
well, I'll
home.
try.
It's gotta be the network.
Okay, so, sorry, I'm just.
We'll get you
It's kind
figured
of
out.
frustrating. It's like, oh, I finally got it up. Then we're done talking about it.
Justin, you have anything?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So speaking of the next meeting, who all will be here on the 23rd? You'll be here?
Possibly.
You'll be here? Okay, so Kayla and I will be out, so I guess there's usually not too much the last meeting of the year. So
There's a big party, I think.
Yeah.
Probably a big party.
Put on by the mayor.
Cash party.
there you go, yeah, I'll leave my checkbook for you, Justin.
Thanks.
All right, has everybody had a chance to look at the bills on ordinance 1093? Any questions? Motion to approve.
So
Moved by Kale.
Second.
Second by Justin, all in favor? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moved by Larry, he moved first, second by
There's-
Justin, all right.
Yeah, fine.